The Impact Teacher Evaluation Programme was a educational policy that was rolled out in DC initially and then nationwide in the US. Basically, students' test data and classroom observation data were pooled in order to create a teacher evaluation, and then the teacher evaluation was then used to either give financial incentives to high performers or potentially for low performers to lose their jobs. This created a lot of controversy. It was plagued by issues. First of all, there were the human issues, which were teacher dissatisfaction, understandably. Mass teacher layoffs. I think there were 200 in 1 week in DC. And there was, again, understandably, a cheating scandal where teachers were bolstering their students' test scores in order to improve their own evaluation because they feared for their livelihoods. And on top of the human issues, there were methodological issues. Bleiberg and colleagues in 2021 found that there was a null improvement in student outcomes as a result of the programme, which was what it had been implemented to improve. There was a lack of appropriate controls. Teachers in poverty-stricken areas were judged on the same criteria as those in wealthy areas. And finally, was teacher performance even the main variable? Home conditions, educational attainment of parents, things like these are also major predictors of student performance. So why had they honed in on and sort of punitively kind of focused on just the teacher performance? So clearly this was a very messy and controversial programme. But where's the unethicality? This is what's tricky about this case. Was it the researchers for not considering their research, for having so many methodological issues, for not even affecting their intended outcome variable, for not including appropriate controls? Or was it the policymakers who had just kind of uncritically rolled this thing out without due acknowledgement of the methodological flaws and without due consideration of the human impact? Was it maybe the teachers who had cheated and therefore put the standard up for other teachers until all the teachers had to sort of cheat in order to try to save their jobs? Or maybe it was just the teachers who performed badly. Maybe they're the bad actors because they weren't doing their jobs properly in the first place, and that's why this whole thing had to happen. So like the Cambridge Analytica scandal, there's multiple candidates for wrongdoing, but no obvious criteria with which to adjudicate. Moral philosophy is not going to get us very far here. It's too complex, there's too many moving parts. I think the ethics as methods idea from Markham and colleagues is the best way to approach this. And just to jog our memory, this is Markham writes in 2006, reflexively interrogating one's methods of inquiry shifts attention away from codes of conduct imposed from the outside and reveals hidden ethical practices from the inside. So in this inquiry, we can, in principle at least, ask each actor at each stage how they believed they were doing ethically. We can ask the researchers, the policymakers, the teachers, and if there was some way that we could pool all this information together, I think we would be able to say, well, listen, there was a lot of bad ethics going on here.